Second thing that needs to happen, if that goes well, okay, we're both on the same page in what we believe about Allah and about deen and about life. And essentially the fundamentals of life, like I want to raise my kids upon this, and I want to raise my kids here or there, etc. Okay. So the second thing is now the method or the mission. So when you look at an organization, there's a vision statement, is the long range, the beliefs of the organization, the purpose of the organization. Then the mission statement is like, all right, how are we going to get this done? So the mission statement may be, well, 4 years medical school first. That'd be like, that's how I'm going to execute my vision. My vision of life requires me to be a doctor. All right, that 4 years medical school. Now we're talking, like, oh, I might not want to be down with that. I might not wait around for that, right? Or it may be your mission statement, your mission may be, well, we're going to, I'm going to study first. I'm going to take 2 years abroad of study. I'm going to live here. We agree with that. That's the vision, but I'm going to study 2 years abroad first. I'll tell you where things just get lost is when these things are all out of order. Okay? So when you're having that first initial meeting, there's no point to go any further than the vision. And once that's done, now how do we plan to execute this way of life? All right? And there you talk about, well, okay, how do we want to school the kids? We want to have kids. How do we want to school them? Like, we already know what we believe they should end up as, right? But now how do we get there? See, all this is where there has to be negotiation and there has to be flexibility in mission. Like, how are we planning to do this? There has to be flexibility with this, and there has to be an ability to negotiate. And you may not get every single thing that you want in the mission, okay, in this second phase of things, which is how do we execute this vision of life. And now, once you come to an agreement, let's say, okay, listen, I want to study 2 years before I start regular life. She says, oh, I really wanted to start regular life now. All right, fine. How's this? We'll cut it down to 1 year, and then the next 2 summers will go. So you made a deal. You make deals. And the way to make a deal is never to argue over one thing. You got to put 5 things on the table, right? If you're arguing over why is that? If you're arguing over one thing, there has to be a loser, right? If it's like a tug of war. Are we going to do this? Yes or no? That means there has to be a loser in this. So you want to eliminate that. No one wants to feel like they've lost something. So what you do is you put, okay, well you also want 3 things. I want these 3 things. If I'm going to give up half of this, then maybe I wasn't really comfortable with a portion of that. So you end up with a package. Everyone ends up with a package that they're satisfied with. That's the right way to make a negotiation in anything. Now, you don't ever argue over one thing. So, for example, in business, they're arguing over the price. They have to bring in a second or third factor to bring it in so that even wherever we go on the price, someone's going to get something extra so that they don't feel like they've lost something. And that's how you negotiate that second phase of things, where it's how are we going to execute this? We believe in the same thing. We want to live essentially this type of life. How do we do it is all up for negotiation. I call this like the mission, all right, or the methods of execution of this vision statement. Now, the third thing, all right, the third thing